Alright, good. Hello, it's been a little while, but we're finally back. Another review. It's only been, like, 2 years. Anyway, today we're talking about the NS-61 Emissary. It's a great little machine pistol. I love it. I think it's severely underrated as a weapon. It's kind of a little weird in its usage, but once you get used to it, it's really comfy to use, and it's really capable. You can honestly get away with some really stupid strategy using it that you shouldn't be winning. Like, if you're experienced stuff, you can outduel other players if you're going for headshots with the thing. Like, it is super comfortable as a sidearm. Uh, Unfortunately, the DPS is really low. 125 at 577 is... It's the same fire rate as the Pulse RC at 2 full damage tiers lower. Like, it doesn't kill fast at all unless you're really clicking for heads. But there's no recoil. It's automatic, so it's super easy to use. There's no recoil. The cone of fire is really good on hip as long as you bring a laser. It's even still good normally. The reload speed is quick. It's accurate. It has reasonably nice fall off for being a pistol. Like, it's just really comfy to use. It's got good attachments for it too. I personally would run a 1X. You can pick your barrel. All three of them are actually pretty viable. Flash up is just a good filler slot if you're not going to run anything. Comp is really good if you don't want to have any recoil, and the weapon is bugged where on some of the newer weapons that have compensators, Daybreak didn't set the hipfire modifiers right, so you don't take the full 15% hipfire cone of fire loss. It's only like 1.5%. So you can actually comfortably run a compensator if you want to. I like the suppressor, just in case you're flanking or doing anything with it, but it's all good options. And for your hip, you can either go laser or extended. Both are totally viable. If you hip it more, go laser. If you play ADS more, go extended. They're both super comfortable to use. And of course, in keeping with the trend, this is a live review. It's one shot, completely live. Nothing about this is scripted. This is completely unfiltered. Standard Connery NC Brookgate behavior. It's off-hours Connery at 4 PM in the afternoon on a Thursday. So it should honestly provide a pretty well-balanced fight to kind of show you what the Emissary is all about. It's a machine pistol. Save that guy's life. So, with the Emissary, I'm just going to kind of talk and explain what I like about the weapon. You know, if you've seen the other ones, you know what to expect. Basically, the long story short with the Emissary is it's extremely comfortable. Like, you can get better results with a pilot, an underboss, or a commissioner, but the Emissary is comfortable to use, and I think that's its strongest suit over the other pistols available in the game. Even other auto pistols like the T4M or the Yellera, like, it's just comfy to use. It doesn't feel gimmicky at all. It doesn't feel like it's trying to have some weird playstyle around it. It just feels comfortable. It's just a machine pistol. The low DPS really does hurt it in some situations. They must have something around here somewhere. But it just works. Like, there's really no way to describe it other than it just works. You can throw it at pretty much any situation, and provided you have the aim, you can usually come out on top. You won't win raw 1v1 duels, but as a heavy, you can usually buy enough time, the overshield, to win most gunfights. As for loadouts, I would either recommend, if you're just trying to Araximit as quickly as possible, I would definitely go Heavy Assault, and I'd set it up for a full pistol build, because then you can really take advantage of the auto control ability. It works really well with single-shot primaries, such as bolt-action snipers. It's really comfortable to use because then you have an auto secondary for panic situations. It's great with the Archer, or any of the other AMRs now that they've been added, because it's an auto secondary, it just works. You can throw it at pretty much anything and it just works. And I don't think it's a very good backup pistol. It's kind of a pistol that you need to actively run, per se. Like, for sure you can make it work as a backup pistol, but in a panic situation it just doesn't have the damage to compete, unfortunately. But if you're actually primarying it, like, or using it as a secondary, like a true secondary... Oh, that's a proxy mine. It works well as a secondary for actively using your secondary, but it's not a good panic pistol like a pilot or an underboss. You can't whip it out and deal big damage to save your ass when you're inevitably out of ammo. You do kind of have to walk around and actively use it. Which is honestly its greatest downfall, but its greatest strength. since it has to be a more active secondary, it allows it to be super comfortable to use, super nice to use, super reliable. Whereas an underboss or commissioner, unless you have really good aim, damn it. Like, with an underboss or a commissioner, or a pilot, you have to be landing your shots. And they're not super forgiving if you miss. With the Emissary, you hold mouse button. You don't really need to worry about bursting it, because the cone of fire doesn't really get big. You don't need to worry about the recoil, because it's an Emissary, and if you put the compensator on it, you pretty much don't even need to hold the mouse button at all. Honestly, its biggest disadvantage is just that it has no good DPS. But outside of that, if you just want an easy sidearm to use as a backup, kind of like a second primary in a sense, it's great. It's honestly phenomenal. If you're looking at it in the sense of doing a directive, I would personally skip it for pistol directive, unless you just like the auto pistol playstyle, or if you're going to primary your pistol axes out. Otherwise, you can probably look elsewhere. But if you just want it as a nice tool to have access to, I think it's a great option. I think it's easily worth 1,000 souls. And for a directive like Mayhem, which is what I'm currently working on, that's why you see me using the graphics one here. I would say you have to, but I think the other options for Mayhem aren't good enough to justify avoiding it. I think you're best off using it. And, yeah, now I guess we're just fully into the gameplay segment, where I'll pretty much just rant on the weapon and talk about it, and, you know, the standard live format that I'm using, because I don't know, it's interesting. I explain it every video, but for those unfamiliar, the reason I do all these lives is because A, I fucking hate editing. That's not hyperbole, I utterly refuse to do it. So you could say it's out of laziness. But I also like giving, you know, a live indication of how the weapon plays. I'm not cherry-picking moments to show you where the weapon is really good. I'm showing you how it performs in the hands of a fairly average player in what is an average fight. Like, there are times when the Emissary just doesn't put out enough damage, or where people get the drop on you, or where it's too long range of a fight, and you just can't win engagements. And there are other times where it seems like everything's going right with the gun, where despite having super low DPS, you can be picking kills left and right. It's a really interesting gun in that regard. That, it's not a feast or famine gun, but there are definitely times where it just won't work. And it does, like I said, only work with like a select couple of playstyles. But it's well balanced. Like it doesn't feel overpowered to use, and it doesn't feel overpowered to fight against, because honestly, if you die to it, that's a skill issue. It's comfy to use. Like the recoil's, not the recoil, the reload speed's snappy for close quarters combat. You can easily keep pace with whatever you may be encountering. The recoil isn't a factor at all. Like, and if you really, really hate pulling your mouse, just grab a comp. You can hip-fire it super effectively with the laser, in which case you can absolutely bully other players. Especially those that take the heavy barrel nowadays. It's just, I don't know, it's just comfy to use. I don't really have a whole lot to say on it other than it's comfy to use, and how you do with it will honestly depend a lot on your personal skills as a player. If you can't land heads, it's not going to be a good pistol for you. It'll still be a comfortable automatic backup, but if you can't land heads, you're really not going to have any DPS to work with. Like, 250 damage at 577 within max damage range is still a pretty respectable amount of damage. It's not going to win punches with, like, dedicated CQC guns, main guns that score just one headshot on you, or maybe two. But you are still beating out most guns in DPS as long as you are landing headshots. And with how easy it is to control, it is ridiculously easy to land headshots with. That's its greatest advantage. You don't have to be a particularly good player to do well with it, you just need to be able to click on the head. At risk of sounding, just click on the head, bro. That's really what it is. If you just click on the head, you'll do well with it. because you don't need to put a whole lot of thought into bursting it or worrying about the recoil patterns. It just works. That's all I can say about it. It just works. It's a great little pistol if you just want to grab something and shoot. And yeah, you win dumb fights. I should not have won that fight. Sure, I got the drop on him, but like, I should not have won that engagement. But you can. You can do things with the Emissary that are really risky with other pistols. I don't worry about missing 1 or 2 shots with the Emissary because I got 25 more or 30 more if you're running extended. You can afford to miss shots and still put out decent damage. Sure, your DPS continues to completely fall off a rock, which is really not good, but it's not punishing to miss, which really aids it in feeling comfortable to use. I do believe it's, if you're gonna run the thing like dedicated, I'm almost around it. If you're gonna run the thing dedicated, I would definitely play on heavy. I don't honestly think it works as a stalker pistol, for example. That is like Colossus. I don't think it works well as a stalker pistol. I think if you're gonna go stalker, you're better off running a Desperado if you're on NC, a Harbinger, or lastly if you're on NS. The Rebel is good if you're on NC. Even Spiker is probably better than this thing on a stalker though. But as a backup, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. At risk of repeating myself, that's all I can really say on it. It's just, it's a nice, comfortable pistol. If you have the skill, it will do whatever you want to throw at it. Like, it will let you down. Like, don't get me wrong, the pistol will let you down. Inevitably. With how low the DPS is, you will die when you had good aim. It's just, most of the time, the average player is not good enough to be out-dueling you if you're hitting your headshots. So, it just works. Like, it just works. There's no gimmicks to it, there's no, like, special notes to take advantage of. It just, you equip it, and you use it, and you click. You don't need to worry about gimmicks, about utilizing its ranges effectively, because it works pretty much everywhere with how forgiving and how easy it is to use. You just equip it, and you shoot. That said, it really, really suffers in long-range engagements. And if you don't know what you're doing or you don't have good tracking, it also really suffers in close-range engagements. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I pretty much honestly got to say on the weapon for now. Like, I'm sure I'll think of more shit as I, you know, just play the game. And, you know, that's why I like doing these live reviews. It's just very handy. It's, you know, as it comes. Wasted eye, I guess. Oops. No, I don't want to revive. Shoo. Over to Wokaki Ecological. Let's see, what else can I say about this gun? It works better in close range fights, but, I mean, you can still poke people at range because you don't really need to worry about recoil control. And you can miss. Like, sure, 91 minimum damage hurts badly, but it works in a pinch. Like, God bless my pins. I don't know, it's just, it's a nice pistol. Oh, sorry, buddy. I gotta start harassing that detonator now. So, a little bit of explanation as to why I haven't uploaded. I have been streaming mostly, and also now I'm in college, so, you know, that's a little more important than creating content. So, honestly, if you want to catch me and see me more, it's best to catch me on Twitch. I'll leave that link in the description. If you want to misplay. I will try and make more YouTube content. I have quite a few guns lined up. For what I want to review. It's going to be the Emissary, which I'm, you know, currently doing. Haha. And then the other plans that are currently on are the Miramasa, the A7 launcher, which I think is interesting, but I think it's way too expensive for what it is. That's basically the shorthand of the Miramasa. The CB100, the NSO's default carbine, the Schrodinger, the NSO's submachine gun reward, which is completely useless. and potentially other things. I kind of want to do something on the Viscount. I don't know. If you want me, I mostly play NSO, heads up. But if you want to see me do a specific gun, I don't know, just say so. Provided I put a little bit of time into it, I really don't mind. I always like giving my thoughts on guns and just kind of ranting. Like, what can I say? I love to talk. I'm a bitch. See, you don't got good tracking, you will just get lasered, and that's just a skill show on my part. Honestly, if I'd been landing headshots there, I probably would have killed the guy right in front of me. I still would have died right after, but I probably could have picked a kill there, and I didn't. Like, it really was just a skill issue. Ah, damn it. Thought I could 60 FPS over the wall there. No luck. Nope. Oh fuck, I didn't think they would actually try and poke me. Ah, there's someone behind me. Oh, hello there. Oops. Yeah, there was no win in that one. There was certainly no win in that one. What are we? We're about 18 minutes in. Okay. I guess we'll do, like, another fight or two. Again, completely live. I'm not editing this in the slightest. This will probably be on YouTube, honestly, not even 15 minutes after I finish recording. So, you know. That's just how we roll. But, you know, I've looked at my channel, analytics, and I know I hate to be the person that talks about it, but honestly, it's amazing that, like, people have watched my other reviews. Like, that MKV review is honestly kind of, but, like, it's still sitting at 2K views. Like, holy hell. It's, like, the most forgettable submachine gun in the game. How do I make a mediocre video on it completely live, filled with, like, small little errors? That's stupid 2K views. Like, what? And, like, the Kappa review, an A7 gun, has, what, 1.2K? Like, what? Alright, this fight is going to hell. Honestly, looking at the fights, this might be a good place to just end the recording. Yeah, alright, chat. Chat, god, I'm used to streaming. So yeah, the Emissary. Final verdict, it's a good gun. It requires skill to use more than anything, but it's really comfortable to use once you're acquainted with it, once you have the skill to use it. Sucks as a backup weapon, unless you're gonna, like, actually play with a secondary, like, either dedicated or be willing to actively use it. I wouldn't pick it up. I'd go for an underboss or a pilot instead. Don't do it for directive unless you really like auto pistols or primarying pistols. Do it for mayhem because the other options are honestly terrible. And yeah, that's about all I can say on it. As per usual, I'm sorry for the extremely long upload wait. I hope to change that soon. Maybe, haha, we'll see. And yeah, thank you if you're still here. I do appreciate it all, and I appreciate all of you who stick around with this, as absolutely scuffed as it is. So, thank you all. I will hopefully see you soon. Oh no, that's the go live button. No!